right, welcome to the Act Up podcast, where we interview industry professionals who act down. And I have with me
Tiffany ROSHAE.
And I am Rhavynn Drummer. Thank you guys for coming and joining us. So we've been talking about grief.
Yeah.
And I love what you said at the break, which was now we're talking about birth after grief. Literal, creative, emotional, mental, literal birth after grief. So what has creativity birthed in you since your father's passing?
It birthed in me the business side of creativity. It took me from wanting to be the artist to maybe the person who makes the art happen in a way. And I gave him a literal promise that I was going to be a millionaire. I don't know why I did that.
Wow. You do know why.
Right,
yeah. Exactly.
But for some reason, and it's not even a conscious thought, it's just like a subconscious thought. It's like, in the back of my mind, it's like, you made this promise, and the currency I know is creativity.
Yeah.
Right? I've been a creative all my life, so how can I make the most beautiful but smart and necessary art? To me, that's the way I'm going to fulfill my promise.
Yeah.
It makes me a hardworking artist and creator. The whole nothing comes to a dreamer but a dream thing is very prevalent in my life now.
Yeah.
Hence, like that first episode where we were like, "Oh, I don't get to dream anymore." Probably because I forgot that that is in the back of my mind. I am not here to sleep and dream no more. My art, yes, I'm going to make art, but I made a promise, and through my art is how I'm going to fulfill that promise.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
what
really
about
good.
you? How's your creativity? Because I don't want to answer for you, but look what's happening after, even though you were already on that journey.
I think that for me, during my father's last days, I was directing. And that was wild and weird. And I was directing right here where we're sitting. So Valika was doing a one-woman show, and I had no furniture in here. All I had was a green carpet. I had a folding table and chairs, and we had some rehearsal blocks, the big wooden rehearsal blocks that she brought in here. And this was our stage. Yeah. And this was our stage during the week. And then, I would go home on weekends, as I mentioned. And so it was weird to kind of be in this space of having to be creative, but also having to kind of be in I don't want to say survival mode, but just kind of like very guarded. I had to be very guarded because I feel like I had to protect myself so the director could show up when she needed to, and the daughter could show up when she needed to. So one, that was wild, and I sometimes I still feel like I don't know exactly how going through that affected my directing, but I started writing. So after my father passed, I wrote a short, teaser type of thing. And, of course, in the theme of lightness, it's like a dramedy. And I wrote this short. I forgot what the original name of it was. And it's about a woman whose father passes away. But he visits her through almost like she can only see him, So he visits her, and their goal is a ring by spring. And so they're on this quest, basically from the grave. He helps her find love. And it's their own healing that they do together in helping her find love. And so he's almost like her dating coach, but from posthumously her dating coach. And so I wrote it, and we ended up calling it Memphis because I filmed it in Memphis. And I filmed it, got the edit of it. And it's so interesting. I don't know about you as a writer, but whenever I write something, what I really feel comes out more than what I intend to write. So, like, even with Good Girls, I wrote it about 4 friends. And one of the guys who read it, he was like, it just felt like she was lonely. And I was like, and I'm like, oh, that's something that you could tell from my, whatever I wrote. Like, I needed to write about feeling lonely and maybe even feeling lonely in friendships, you know? And so when I watched Memphis, what I intended was to be this, like, this lighthearted kind of comedy, kind of dramedy, felt so heavy. It felt so sad. And I'm like, oh, there's the grief. Like, I could see it. Like, literally, whenever, and I wrote it, did not finish editing it, which will, really, it's a theme of mine. But I could literally see grief. It was like I filmed grief.
Wow.
And my intention was to make it funny, and it was like the saddest thing I've ever seen.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
I started, and I was going to have you direct it, and prayerfully this still happens, but I started writing a play before he was sick. I started writing when I was working at the Lions. That was 2019, but the male character in there was a representation of my father. He showed up at the end of Act 2, and then end of Act 1, then all of Act 2, I had this character like be the villain. Because I was writing from a place when he was the villain in my life. Yeah. And after he passed, I cannot touch that script.
Wow.
It's like, first of all, I received notes that Act 2 is extremely disjointed and Act 1 is really, really good.
I think I read that script.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's a great script,
you did. I cannot, like life, I cannot touch it.
Yeah.
But now the things I do write are more so like, funny enough, love stories, but I went back and read the male character in the love story I wrote the other day, and I was like, oh, this is my dad. Yeah. Yeah, this hard, his name is literally Stone.
Ooh,
like this hard man. I'm like, oh, I guess this is where they live now.
Yes, absolutely.
This is how they continue to live. Like, oh my God. Even now, I'm looking at Doja, and now all of a sudden, Hamilton is flooding me. Because there's this song at the end of Hamilton, Uptown.
Oh, yes, Quiet Uptown.
About Quiet Uptown, about after his son passed. And I'm envisioning Lin-Manuel writing this about this Alexander Hamilton, writing about his past son. And I'm like, oh, this is how they get to live. Yeah. Because that piece of work is going to live forever. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll continue writing it. Or if it was meant to be funny and now all of a sudden it's sad, well, maybe this is his sad moment if that's where he lives. But then you could write something else where the funny will come out. It doesn't end with Memphis.
No,
basically. Exactly. Perry keeps living on by all the things you continue
for sure
to write.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that, like you said, like Stone is a character. Like I'm like, he's gonna keep on showing up. You know, like it's gonna keep on showing up in the work that you do because they're a part of us. You know, so yeah.
How has he like informed the way you see your career? Like after grief, how do you see it before and after?
That's really good. My father was a rule breaker too. And I feel like his constant thing was, and my mother and I are very much like rule followers. And his constant thing was kind of always freedom and doing right by you, you know? So I feel like in terms of career-wise, he would have wanted me to take the chance, take the leap, go for it. Like, and I feel like a part of me feels like it's taken 3 years, I guess 3.5 years to actually really kind of jump in and do that. I feel like I'm doing that now in 2025, but I feel like I wasn't ready to do that 21, 22, 23, 24. And I feel like now feel like I am living in a way that my father was trying to get to me now. For sure. For sure.
I am the opposite.
Really?
I've lived my life so free. And now I'm like, I want nothing but to be chained to a chair. Like, and
really?
Like, just, like, so I love chaos and structure. Like, I love to have my freedom in a box. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love structure, but I also love freedom. But before, I was leaning heavy into the freedom, from everything from dating to where I live to like, there was nothing chaining me down. Now I'm like, no, you need, I want routine. I love routine.
Wow.
I wake up earlier. I have more tolerance for getting less sleep now.
Wow.
It's like, he woke up the businessman to me. I don't know.
Did your father ever come to you in your dreams?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It was quite frequent after. Less so now.
Yeah.
Actually came like a couple weeks ago, and that was the first time in a while. I used to hate going to sleep. I didn't want to see him in my dreams.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yes, but not as much. Like when he first died, I saw him in my dreams, like maybe a couple days afterwards, and it was something weird. Like we used to always play Phase 10, like that was our thing, and so it was just us sitting at the dining room table and us talking and playing Phase 10. Like he was there, you know, but not as often. Not as often now.
Those are the vivid dreams to me too. Like,
yeah.
I can still remember one of the earlier ones, being in the house and watching TV, the dream. But not so much anymore.
Was your dad creative?
No.
Okay.
But I say no, but he was an amazing speaker. Like, preached down, had this extremely deep voice, and took it very seriously. I could still hear his sing-song voice on Saturday night preparing for the sermon on Sunday.
Wow.
So that was his rehearsal. He would rehearse. He would write. So artist, no.
That daddy-daughter relationship is something real necessary. And even like, you know, as I'm carrying a girl, it's something I think about a lot.
The only time I heard my daddy cry or see him cry in my life was when I told him I got the teaching job at Kennesaw.
Wow.
He cried.
What would you, stepping back into performance, look like for you now?
It would probably be healing. It would probably heal me. And I would probably see him, and I would pull from a place of knowing why I failed before.
You think you failed?
I think me stopping I thought I was failing at it, so I stopped.
Really?
And now I know, oh, you weren't failing at it. You didn't value it because you didn't see.
Because nobody.
It was valued.
Yeah, nobody reassured that for you to say, hey, this is something important to you and to the world.
And now I know, like, oh, things you find important are valuable. Not just your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Tiffany, that's deep. That's deep.
That's interesting.
I feel like I'm so excited to see if you allow whatever that is. Maybe it's performance, maybe it's not, maybe it's whatever, to just live in you again. And from a place of like, this is why I say I talk to my father, because I think that there are things that he could not say, but he can say now.
I was going to ask you, does he talk back? Like, what is this process like? Do you hear
That's a good question.
Or do you feel anything?
Sometimes I feel like I do feel like him. I feel like I envision what his response would be to whatever I say. And sometimes me, talking to him looks like just quick, like a quick something, like be with me or something. It doesn't have to be something like a conversation. Sometimes, like I think I may have written in a journal to him once or twice, but it could be anything. But I do feel like in my mind, what I saw when you just said that was you performing and your father is there now. Like it may not be physically there, but he is there now, and he's closer than he would have ever been able to be, in this spiritual realm, versus now. That's what I see.
Because physically he was held back by whatever.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know, whatever. But now there's nothing. It's probably so much joy to see me perform.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I was wondering, like, what would that look like for you to just tap into that, to have your own inner validation of, like, it is important. It's important to me. Wow. And it will definitely be, and it is important to him too. That's just what I'm thinking, but...
No, I think you're right. I think I appreciate that.
Yeah. When I think about creativity and, like, I think about love as creative as well. And I'm wondering, like, romantically, how has this affected you? I will say, like, for me, I felt when my father's passing, like, I remember me distinctly saying, this is what I'm ready for. I was ready to receive love and give it. Like, I was like, I'm ready to be loved on, and I'm ready to give love. Period. Like, that's what I was looking for. Do you feel like any of that?
Very much so. Because I kind of, not in a sick way, but he definitely filled a void that I was taken care of.
Yeah.
Very taken care of. Like, I never knew what it meant not to need something.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, going through college, you're broke college student, whatever. But if I needed it, I would just call her. As soon as he left, and I realized that protection wasn't material. Yeah. It's a knowing in your mind. And as soon as he left, even to this day, I told someone else I'm unprotected out here. I just feel unprotected. I feel very vulnerable out here, as in the world. And so, yes, that is something that I actively, before I was in no rush. But now I am very open to it, and more so also humbled by the need of being protected and provided for by a man. It humbles me. Yeah. And the process and what they deal with, and have to take of protecting another human being, because the great void I feel in being unprotected is the great void, is the great space they have to feel. Yeah. And that makes me empathize with men. It's like, if what your job is what I feel like is missing, then I gotta chill out a little bit. Yeah. I gotta be more empathetic. I gotta be more, like, I don't need to be as hard as I am on them. I definitely am moving in that direction. Yeah. Yeah.
How will you creatively honor your father? Or are you already doing it?
I am honoring him. But I wouldn't say creatively. And maybe going back to what the plan was, and not a documentary, but being brave enough to intentionally acknowledge him in my work. Yeah. Instead of giving it another name or character or relationship, but just being intentionally truthful. Like, this is about this. Yeah. And what that would turn into.
Yeah.
Like you, that was brave to do that with Memphis, to intentionally write about your past father. That was brave. I have not done that intentionally.
Yeah.
I write about him and give it another name.
Right.
Another.
Trust me, it had another name, and but it was based off of my experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I write about a couple and give him the traits of instead of just writing about a man in rural Louisiana who was a thug, like who was on the street,
right?
And then found God out of who didn't know his father, and found God and went to the military and became a preacher. Like there's a story there.
Yeah, for sure.
And whatever he was ashamed about, I can be the brave one and honor what his shame, because that shame passed to me. And maybe if I honored it instead of ran from it, then we all could heal. Our family.
Absolutely.
This was interesting.
Thank you for your vulnerability.
Thank you.
I feel like we were supposed to do this like a while ago, and we ran out of time. And I, for whatever reason, it kept on coming up, and I feel like it's necessary. And I hope that this is something that can be healing for people who are going through or have gone through loss. Especially if it's a loss of a parent, her father. And I hope it's something that they feel like a little more seen because of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Rhavynn.
And thank you to Earl, too. And thank you to Perry.
Oh.
I know.
I can't say his name.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Earl. Thank you, Daddy.
Because we're here. We're still a part of their legacy. So
yes, we are.
We were doing
Rhavynn.
so good.
I love you so good. I love you, Rhavynn.
All right, but thank you guys.
Thank y'all.